Coming up on Citrus TV News, Remembrance Week wraps up today. We'll have the latest on today's events.
Plus, the Obama administration makes a major announcement about military action in Syria.
And there's a high possibility NBC will not host another Republican debate.
Citrus TV News starts right now.
From the Citrus TV studios, this is Citrus TV News live at 6, your campus news leader.
Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Monica Hammer.
And I'm Jacob Reynolds. Remembrance Week is wrapping up its activities today, and that's our top story. Today marks the end of Remembrance Week, a week that Syracuse University honors the victims of Pan Am Flight 103.
Citrus TV's Johnny Oliver tells us about the emotional week, which concluded with a rose-laying ceremony outside the Hall of Languages.
What began as a standard Friday afternoon at SU turned into a teary-eyed ceremony at the Remembrance Wall. At 2 p.m., a ceremony began to honor the 35 study abroad SU students who passed away on transatlantic flight Pan Am 103. 35 current SU students were chosen to be Remembrance Scholars, each one representing a student who was a victim on the flight. Anna Wisnowski is one of those Remembrance Scholars. Wisnowski says it's important to remember the young lives that were lost in the attack.
For me, it was a really cool way to represent one of them and to be able to carry on their legacy when they were no longer able to.
The week started Sunday night with a candlelight vigil for the victims and carried on with different events each day. Throughout the entire week, there were 35 chairs set up on the quad to represent those lost. The chairs are assembled in the same way that the students on the flight were sitting. A parent of one of the victims, Bob Hunt, says SU does a great job of memorializing the students lost.
It kind of reaffirms our faith in humanity to a certain extent because of the goodness.
Hunt says he and his wife return to SU every year for the Rose Lane ceremony.
Now that the week is over, this year's Remembrance Scholars have had their pictures added to the wall in Steele Hall. It adds to the rich tradition SU has been creating since 1990 when the Remembrance Scholar program began. Johnny Oliver, Citrus TV.
A part of I-690 was closed last night after a Syracuse drunk driver crashed into a sign and guardrail. Police arrived to the scene and found 18-year-old Alexis Isaacs sitting outside her vehicle injured and bleeding from the face. Police say the crash occurred around 11:44 p.m. near West Street at exit 11. They say Isaac was sent to Upstate University Hospital and was later charged with driving while intoxicated.
An East Syracuse man who pleaded guilty to murder yesterday will go to prison for the rest of his life. 28-year-old John Cosmetatos reached a plea deal with prosecutors just days before his trial was set to begin. Cosmetatos was accused of luring a man with the fake prostitutes and then murdering him last year. 12 eyewitnesses implicated him in the murder, including both the fake prostitutes who plan to testify in court. And the Rosamond Gifford Zoo will be busy this weekend. On Sunday, starting at 10 a.m., visitors will be able to watch animals destroy pumpkins every 15 minutes. The zoo will also hold an art exhibit starting Sunday where masterpieces created by the animals will be on display. The paintings will be used to benefit the American Association of Zookeepers in the auction later in the month.
SU's 7th annual Greek Retreat took over Walnut Park this afternoon. The event brings the community together through different Halloween-themed activities at sorority and fraternity houses around Walnut Park. The crowd gathered in front of the park for an afternoon of fun.
They get really, really excited and they absolutely love it. Some of our kids probably don't get to go trick-or-treating, so this is like a good thing for them. Plus, I love having them to just come and see college life.
Comedian Mike Epps is coming to Syracuse next weekend for the 5th annual Laugh Till You Turn Blue comedy show. The Phi Beta Sigma fraternity is hosting the event in Goldstein Auditorium and will donate all proceeds to the Good Life Foundation. Mike Epps is known for his roles in the Resident Evil franchise Dr. Dolittle 2 and Survivor's Remorse, among others. Tickets are available for $6 at the Shine student box office. And this semester's Autothon has its official date. The organization announced the dance marathon will be on December 5th in Shine's Goldstein Auditorium. The event benefits the Golisano Children's Hospital at SUNY Upstate, and you can register online starting now until the day of the event.
Well, you may have noticed the Hall of Languages has been lit up purple every night this month. Citrus TV's Chris Venson tells us it's for something you may not expect.
Autumn dresses Syracuse University in a spectacular variety of colors. The oranges, blues, and greens are eye-catching, but the Vera House, a modest help center in East Syracuse, is doing its best to grab your attention this October. By using special lights to turn buildings around the university purple, they hope to raise awareness for domestic violence.
It's important because the community, when it comes to violence, especially within a relationship, we're taught that it's a private issue. It should stay behind closed doors. If it is out in public, it's none of my business. We should just walk by. Raising awareness is to make it that it's pretty much everyone's issue.
The Vera House believes that by bringing domestic violence into the public conversation, they can help stop abuse before it starts.
We're trying to do prevention. We're trying to end it before it happens, especially working with our kids in our school programs. It's just trying to teach them how can you handle a situation before it escalates into a serious problem.
While lighting up the liberal arts building can only do so much, freshman Aria Civic can attest that it's definitely a step in the right direction.
I will tell you this from personal experience, you don't want to go to a counselor a lot of the time. Oftentimes people just want people to know about it.
Domestic Violence Awareness Month has been tremendously successful for the Vera House and its various social programs, but Junior understands there is always room for improvement.
If there's something that we don't have, and if anyone does suggest it to us, we more than gladly look into it to see if that's a possibility that we can offer, something that may not be offered within our community here. So we just always look for something to incorporate.
Hopefully, the campaign makes an impact that outlives October.
It's just really important, and it just really hits the lives of people you don't know.
Reporting for Citrus TV News, I'm Chris Venson.
And when we come back, find out why the Republican National Committee is suspending their relationship with NBC.
Plus, talks between major world powers about the future of Syria continue today.
And just after the break, I'll have your Halloween weekend forecast and what you need to know for the week ahead. Citrus TV News will be right back.
Looks like it's done.
Don't let salmonella get funky with your chicken. On average, 1 in 6 Americans will get a foodborne illness this year. You can't see these microbes, but they might be there. So learn the right temperature to cook each type of meat. Keep your family safe at foodsafety.gov.
Here is my handle and here is my spout.
When I get all steamed up, then I shout.
Tip me over and pour me out. Oh. The smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life.
Cheers.
Take time to be a dad today.
Really?
Buzz, what's up, man? You left some leaves burning out here.
Yeah, I just came in just for a second.
Come on, man. If it's too hot to touch, it's too hot to leave. You could torch the whole neighborhood.
It's a good point there, Smokey.
9 out of 10 wildfires are caused by humans.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
So, I just moved in with this family, and it's embarrassing. The little one, he likes to go outside and crawl around in the giant litter box. I don't know what he's doing. I mean, I was born and I knew how to use the litter box. Look at that. That's disgusting. Oh, poop already. You're making me nervous. Oh, okay, I can't look at this anymore. I really hope he grows out of this, for his sake.
Back now with a developing story, the U.S. will be sending about 50 special operations forces into northern Syria. Officials say the special forces will work alongside groups committed to fighting ISIS, which would likely include Kurdish and allied actors.
This comes as President Obama and his administration face increased pressure to improve their strategy in stopping the terrorist group. The Pentagon recently abandoned the administration's program of training and equipping Syrian rebels.
And Senate Democrats and Republicans approved a 2-year bipartisan budget early this morning, preventing a potential U.S. default next week.
The budget deal passed by a vote of 64 to 35 and will increase spending by nearly $80 billion for both defense and domestic programs.
This marks the end of the Obama administration's recent budget battles with Congress and stops the possibility of another government shutdown. And the Republican National Committee is suspending its relationship with NBC after Wednesday's debate on CNBC.
The chairman of the RNC wrote an open letter to NBC News informing them of the decision. The move means NBC will no longer have the rights to air the February 26th debate in Houston.
In the letter, the RNC chairman says the debate earlier this week was done in bad faith, and the committee wasn't happy with the, quote, gotcha questions.
New York City Mayor Bill de Blasio has endorsed Hillary Clinton for the Democratic nomination for president.
De Blasio was the campaign manager of Clinton's first Senate race, but declined to endorse her in April and skipped her campaign announcement in New York City.
A figure in the left wing of the Democratic Party, de Blasio felt that Clinton was best suited to fight on issues important to him, the most important being income inequality. And we're getting our first look at the shocking new video from the biker shootout in Waco, Texas. The video shows the chilling moments earlier this year when 2 biker gangs opened fire at each other at the Twin Peaks restaurant. The shooting left 9 bikers dead.
Police say they were not responsible for releasing the surveillance video. Authorities recovered nearly 500 weapons from the scene. Some 200 bikers were arrested. None of them have been charged in the 9 deaths. And a former St. Paul's prep school student accused of raping a then 15-year-old girl will go to prison. Owen Labrie, now 20 years old, was sentenced to 1 year in jail behind bars yesterday after he was found guilty of 3 sexual assault misdemeanors. He was acquitted of rape.
Labrie was the focus of a highly publicized trial highlighting a tradition at the school known as Senior Salute. Graduating seniors were encouraged to earn points by having as many sexual encounters with underclassmen as possible. And 1 person is seriously burned and 14 others injured after a plane caught fire at the tarmac at a Fort Lauderdale airport yesterday.
The pilot noticed a fuel leak in the left engine and declared an emergency. More than 100 passengers who were on the plane bound for Venezuela were evacuated. The airport was shut down for a couple of hours but resumed operations soon after. And officials have confirmed an Oregon teen has the bubonic plague. Officials believe the teen contracted the plague from a flea while on a hunting trip.
The Crook County girl has since been hospitalized and remains in the intensive care unit. No other infections have been reported.
Talks in Vienna between major world powers about the future of Syria continue today. Secretary of State John Kerry says there have been tough discussions, but he is optimistic about the start of a, quote, new diplomatic process.
The talks, which include Syrian ally Iran for the first time, center around the future of President Bashar Assad and how to resolve the Syrian civil war, which has gone on for almost 5 years.
People in Indonesia, Malaysia, and Singapore are choking under heavy smog and haze. One meteorology agency has even deemed it a crime against humanity.
The problem stems from the annual burning of land in order to farm pulp, palm, and other natural resources. Though this happens yearly, this is reportedly the worst it has been in 20 years.
The Pollutant Standard Index says anything more than 300 is harmful. Many areas have reached levels of nearly 2,000.
And a British man who was detained at the Guantanamo Bay for 13 years has been released. The suspect al-Qaeda member was originally set to be released in 2007, but wasn't sent home until now.
There had been public outcry in Britain for the past few years, something Shakir Amar credits for keeping him from giving up hope while in Cuba. According to WikiLeaks documents, Amar was suspected of being a close friend to Osama bin Laden. And 2 Palestinians were shot by police after they stabbed 2 Israelis. One of the men injured in the crossfire was an American citizen.
The attackers reportedly approached an Israeli checkpoint and drew their weapons, critically injuring 1 man and killing another.
This is the latest of a string of attacks dating back to September. The attacks have already caused 77 deaths in the past 6 weeks alone. In response, Israel has put restrictions on Palestinians in the city of Hebron.
Coming up, we'll see what the weather will be like this Halloween.
Plus, it's time for our Hammer Time segment with all your latest entertainment and consumer stories.
Wow, these are really good.
You act surprised.
Practice makes perfect.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. There are thousands of teens in foster care who don't need perfection. They need you.
Pretty much a good day for me would be people leaving their hands off of me. I'm always called names. Everywhere that I go, there's always someone calling me names, calling me gay. I've been choked, thrown up against the wall, punched. Nobody's ever tried to help me.
This new mom is struggling to get the skates just right. Now she's holding on for dear life.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of siblings in foster care will take you just as you are.
Halloween is tomorrow, and as lots of people are celebrating, they are hoping for a nice weather forecast. Nick, what does the weather look like for this weekend?
Thanks, Jake. Yeah, at this point in the year, we're certainly into those fall temperatures. 45 degrees is the temperature outside today, and that was about as high as it got with a high of 46. Low of 34 degrees today, so that those cooler temperatures are definitely here to stay. As we look out at tonight, people going out tonight, it should be a fairly nice evening, even if it is a bit chilly. 34 degrees your high, but a chance of precipitation is at 0%. We shouldn't see anything overnight. Some clouds, but those will clear out later. As we look out across the live in telecast radar, you can see this storm system right here. That's going to come in tomorrow night, but late tomorrow night. We're looking at around 1 or 2 a.m., so things should be dry early in the evening. But as I said, this storm system will begin to move in later tomorrow night. So if you're going out early in the evening, your Halloween trick-or-treating, shouldn't be any rain in the forecast to worry about. It will be a bit chilly, though. As we look out across the entire country, you can see this is that system I talked about that's going to be moving towards us. So also some movement right across the center of the country here as well. As we look out across the entire country at the temperatures and the weather we saw today, you can see we do have some storms down in the south. That's part of a similar part of that system that's going to be tracking towards us. But the rest of the Northeast up here is experiencing similar temperatures to what we have here in Syracuse. As we look at tomorrow, Saturday, 53 degrees, your high for the day, mostly cloudy, so we might see some peaks of sun. Should be a fairly nice day, but the good news is for Halloween, things will stay dry. As we look out across the full 5-day forecast, we can see Sunday is where you're going to get that rain, 60% chance of that rain overnight. Monday, though, partly cloudy, 63 degrees. Tuesday, sunny and 66 degrees. And Wednesday, things will get a little warmer than they have been. 69 degrees is your high and mostly sunny.
Alrighty, thank you, Nick. Now for Halloween tomorrow, if I'm going out like party trick-or-treating, like am I gonna need a jacket?
Definitely going to want to take a jacket. It's going to get a little cool overnight, but that high of 53 degrees shouldn't be too bad during the day. No rain to worry about. Don't have to take the rain jacket. Don't have to take the umbrella.
Alrighty, thank you, Nick. And now for all your entertainment and consumer news, it's Hammer Time with Monica Hammer.
A Polish court ruled that acclaimed filmmaker Roman Polanski will not be extradited. Polanski was accused of taking topless photos and having sex with a 13-year-old victim in 1977. He spent 42 days in prison, but has been a fugitive since he fled on the eve of his formal sentencing. Polanski is the best known for his work in The Pianist, Chinatown, and Tess. And the American Cancer Society is reporting that rates of breast cancer among Black women have risen to equal that of white women. Previous studies have hinted breast cancer is more deadly for Black women, causing the findings to be concerning. Electronic cigarettes and other battery-operated smoking devices will not be allowed in checked bags any longer. The Transportation Department says evidence shows that e-cigs can overheat and cause fires. E-cigs will still be allowed in carry-on bags, but passengers cannot recharge the devices while on the aircraft. The rule will begin within the next 2 weeks. And Phil Collins is officially out of retirement. The Against All Odds singer will be releasing a new solo album and kick off a comeback tour. Collins has sold more than 150 million records throughout his 40-plus year career. Celebrities and fans blew up social media with the news. Fans of the show The Joy of Painting can celebrate today. The program will be returning to Twitch TV this coming Thursday. The show, starring painter Bob Ross, had 403 episodes, all of which will be on the online TV platform. The artist died in 1995 of lymphoma. Thursday would have been Ross's 73rd birthday. And Oscar-nominated actor Benedict Cumberbatch surprised audiences by cursing out politicians. The star made the remarks during an on-stage speech about Europe's refugee crisis. Cumberbatch just finished a performance of Hamlet in London when he criticized the British government for their handling of the refugee problem. He then went on to attack plans of the UK government to accept 20,000 refugees over the next 5 years.
Coming up in sports, Syracuse men's cross country continued their ACC domination. SU football has a tough test against a ranked opponent this weekend, and the Mets have a virtual must-win game tonight in the World Series. All that and more coming up next, so don't change the channel.
Another season of Orange basketball excitement will be here soon. Wisconsin, North Carolina, Notre Dame, and Pittsburgh are all due in the Dome. Will you be there when this happens?
One, lets it go, hits!
Will you be there when Dish happens? Will you be there when Swish happens? And Coach Q wants you there as well, as the women's team looks for its 4th straight NCAA tournament berth. Season tickets are on sale now at the Carrier Dome box office, Cuse.com, and 1-888-DOME-TICKS.
On the night of October 14th, Syracuse University was notified of an off-campus incident via Orange Alert. Just moments after the event, CitrusTV News was already bringing you new information on Periscope and social media. Then we brought nearly an hour and a half of live streaming coverage to students on and off campus via the web. Our own Hunter Sines was at the scene near the shooting, sending us live images of the area under investigation. The following day, reporters were live with the full story. With full team coverage, we kept SU informed with the latest, most accurate information possible. We really are your campus news leader.
Don't look at me. Your hair's a bit frizzy today. Oh, you should pick that up. Oh, you're such a dork. Loser. Here, let me help you with that. Oops.
Every day, kids witness bullying.
Oh, look. Your crush is looking at you. Poor you.
They want to help, but don't know how.
See, no one here's gonna help you, because no one
Teach your
likes you.
kids how to be more than a bystander. Visit stopbullying.gov.
If I got to go to college, oh my goodness. I like discovering new things. You get to see what works for you and what doesn't. That helps you evolve as a person. You get to make like a supernova of skill or talent or whatever it is. I've always wanted to go to college. I just feel like that's my destiny. My name is Queen, and I am your dividend.
ACC domination seems to be a trend for SU men's cross country. The team took the conference championship earlier today for the 4th straight year and in 6 of the last 7 seasons. Syracuse placed 3 runners in the top 5 to take the crown. Justin Knight led the team with a 2nd place finish. He was followed by Colin Benny, who took 4th, and last year's champion Martin Hare, who finished 5th. The 2nd-ranked Orange look for their 2nd national title in program history and 1st since 1951. Trying to break the recent cold spell, it doesn't get any easier for the Syracuse football team this Saturday. The Orange travel to Tallahassee to take on the 17th-ranked Florida State Seminoles. Citrus TV's Carly Nevis tells us how the Orange is starving for a win, but might still be hungry after the game.
We're in every game, and it's just 6 inches here, 6 inches there. You know, few plays have really determined the game.
What a way to sum up the Syracuse football season. Close, but no cigar. The Orange have lost 4 straight going into their matchup against number 17 Florida State tomorrow. In the last 2 losses against Virginia and Pittsburgh, SU was not only leading at the half, but also held the advantage going into the 4th quarter. At this point, they are starving for a win.
We just want to win games, man. That's the most important. We just want to win games.
But the Orange will probably not get that victory tomorrow. FSU ranks 4th in the ACC and 11th in the country in defense, allowing just 16.1 points per game. Syracuse has also lost 7 straight games against the Noles, their only win coming in 1966. Eric Dungy realizes what his team is up against.
They're very athletic, and they got a lot of athletes, and their DNs, they're big and strong and fast, so it'll be pretty tough.
How tough? Well, we'll find out tomorrow at 12 p.m. when the Orange and the Noles kick off on national television. Carly Nevis, Citrus TV.
In other news around the Hill, the 12th-ranked Syracuse men's soccer team finishes up regular season play tonight in Chestnut Hill, Massachusetts, with a date against Boston College. Both teams head into the game looking to improve their seeding for the ACC tournament. The Orange are currently 6th in the overall conference standings, with the Eagles right behind them at 7. Why does that matter? The top 6 team received byes in the first round of the tournament. The game is set to get started later at 7 p.m. On the women's side of things, if the Orange are to continue their recent hot streak, they'll have to get through the 7th-ranked Clemson Tigers in a home ACC matchup to end the season tomorrow. SU looks to send off its leaders with a bang as they depart after the season. The team will be honoring Jackie Ferenzi, Alexis Koval, Maya Pitts, Aaron Simon, and junior Blake Johnson in a senior day ceremony before the game. Kickoff is set for 1 p.m. And finally, the women's ice hockey team gets a double dose of Robert Morris this weekend in Pennsylvania. Starting tonight, SU will play back-to-back road games against the Colonials. The puck will drop in approximately 30 minutes for Game 1 and at 3 p.m. tomorrow for Game 2. In Major League Baseball, the Mets hope that home is where the heart is and where their bats are as they look to dig themselves out of an 0-2 World Series hole. Game 3 of the Fall Classic between New York and Kansas City is tonight with first pitch scheduled for 8:07 p.m. The Royals won the first 2 games of the series at home. On the other side of things, the Mets hope they can reignite their postseason magic at Citi Field as 2 young flamethrowers face off on the mound. Noah Syndergaard of the Mets will go against Yordano Ventura for the Royals. They are respectively 1st and 3rd in the MLB in fastball velocity for starting pitchers. And to wrap it up, the Nets play their second game of the young NBA season tonight against the Spurs. Brooklyn is still searching for its first win after falling in its season opener on Wednesday. To accomplish this goal, they'll have to do something they have never done before: win at San Antonio's AT&T Center. Tip-off is scheduled for 8:30.
All right, so SU against FSU tomorrow. What do you think? Does SU stand a chance?
Honestly, I don't think they stand a chance. Some good news for SU, though, is that their leading rusher for FSU, he rushed for 85% of their yards so far. He's out for the game. He's injured. So it's a benefit for Syracuse. And it gives them a little bit of hope. I honestly think FSU bounces back, so I don't think they have a chance at all.
All righty, thank you. And when we come back, one last look at your weather.
Don't go away.
You know what, guys? There's a lot of tree branches and dry brush over here. We should probably move the bonfire over there.
I'm guessing Smokey liked that idea.
There's a shelter pet who wants to meet you. Meet one today. Visit theshelterpetproject.org. Adopt.
Here is my handle and here is my spout.
When I get all steamed up, then I shout.
Tip me over and pour me out. Oh.
The smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life.
Cheers.
Take time to be a dad today.
Say goodbye.
Goodbye. That's it for Citrus TV. Good night.